Hello, today I'm going to be going over my new S-tier Apocalypse Warlock build. We're going to be skipping the basic skills for all tree because after a little bit of like doing quests, you can get the one of the shards to just replace. It basically replaces your ability to generate wrath with your hits. After that, after you skip this, you will be getting onward chains and upgrading to chain whips to create a very consistent damage that will be very helpful in the later games and right now. I mean by right now because you can use it from level, I would say 48 all the way to the end game because it's S tier. After that, get bombardment because this really helps if you upgrade to endless barrage, where it basically just creates like a passive skill that you can use consistently. After this, get damage, which basically just multiplies your damage, which is very helpful, especially when dealing with a full room of enemies or a boss. After that, get telekinesis because this can, when you use a bombardment, it adds another demon to it, which is very helpful. It's small but does a lot. After this, it's really helpful to get heavy harpoon, or you can get wrath refund. I personally prefer wrath refund because one of your big problems is your wrath, and you don't have a basic skill to really replace this, so this is very important. But if you're high enough level, you can get heavy harpoon because your wrath is basically unlimited by this point. And then get long range slow because this literally makes them super slow, and you can cast it from farther away if you're in a boss that it's like one of those melee bosses that target only around it. And then for the defensive skills, you're actually getting two. The first is Dark Prison, and when you upgrade it to Chain Armor, this creates more of a passive skill, which is very helpful when dealing with bosses. If you add Missile Slow. Missile Slow slows arrows and spells from bosses. Like if you saw my demonstration with the Bloody Baron, you saw that it just basically stopped the purple missile things in its tracks, which is very helpful. And then if you add cooldown reduction, this really quick, it's like the cooldown, it goes down by a ton, and which is very helpful. And when you hit Nether Step with Dark Prison and Chain Aura, it becomes very helpful when you're moving around because it stays with you. And then when you add Gloom Walker, it's also very helpful. And then Extra Charge gives an extra charge, which can literally save your life. After that, get movement speed, because after this, it increases movement speed. And if you have Chain Aura on this going on the same time, it can you can move around fast and dodge a ton of stuff. So far, this build seems really random. I'm guessing that you are thinking that this seems stupid, but if you combine all of them later on, it'll become very effective. We're going to be skipping the Archfield skills because we have better things to use with our dominance, which I will explain later in the video. We're also be skipping Sigils because basically Chain Aura is going to be replacing it with a much more helpful version. After this, what makes this Apocalypse build an Apocalypse build is because of the signature ultimate move. And when you upgrade that to Annihilation, this creates a much more effective build that makes it a lot more spammy when used with Umbral Chains. After this, we're going to be getting Survivor's damage, because if you're with a boss and then you completely destroy him with Apocalypse and he's still alive, you can just pop down a few Umbral Chains and he will be getting destroyed in the next 2 seconds. After this, get epicenter damage. This, like, you can target bosses, target elites, and it still gives out 4 damage on the outside, but more on the inside. Kind of like an explosion, but with much more powerful effect. After this, we have to split all available points, and most of them are going to be going to Umber Chains and Dog Prison, with them starting at 10. Then we're going to be moving to Nether Step, and we're going to give this to about 3 or 4. We can skip this, and we're going to be getting this to about 5. After this, it's very important to get a ton in Umber Chains and Dog Prison, but we cannot forget about our bombardment, so this needs to get to about 4 or 5, I would say. Then add about 13 in there, possibly like 2 in there, maybe, and split this to 1. After this, I'm going to be explaining why I am not that worried about Wrath, and why we need to conserve dominance. Okay, so basically for skill shards, the Ritualist shard gives us access to summon Varlock, which is very, very helpful when generating Wrath, and if you have nothing else, you can maybe like use it once, and then maybe like 3 seconds later you can use it again, and it literally increases your Wrath regeneration by 240, which is like, that's just like a number that my brain feels like it's gonna explode if I use too much, because I mean, like, the number is really high. Okay, then after this, we are going to be getting the Twisted Fragment. Okay, if you're in the later levels, like level 300, level 100, and those levels in between, you could probably use Scorching Fragment, because you have you have a ton of health to spare. And also, you probably have the Undying aspect, which can also be really helpful. And this one, it's Abyss, so we're also really, Hellfire, so that's why you're going to be using it, and in the way we're going to be using it. Okay, so we're going to pop in with Nether Step, and then we are going to be spamming Umber Chains, and while you're doing that, we're going to be doing Dog Prison. This creates like a effect where they can't really hit you, and you going in, out, really fast, and also bombardment is very important, because if Umber Chains takes a little bit to kill them, but this will speed it up by a ton, and this will make it so you take way less damage. And then, if it's too big and this does not kill them all, and there's more enemies coming in, you can use Command Varlock and just spam Umber Chains, and this will literally demolish them. And if they're still alive, which is really hard, you can just use Apocalypse and just wipe them out instantly. And for bosses, it takes about like 20 seconds to destroy bosses. Like that Bloody Baron fight was over before it began. Like, he only hit me like 5 times, and those attacks were very powerful, but I could really lessen the damage and only take half, maybe like a fifth of what I would have with Chain Aura combined with Dog Prison, which is very helpful. And then for our items are probably the least important thing I'm worried about. Okay, one thing I would recommend is Helm of Escala, but this is not very important. Like, I have completely random stuff over here. I have 3 legendaries I'm not even using. I just focus on the damage, and what I really like is how many attacks per second, because that is very important if you're spamming Umber Chains, but it's not as important because you don't have a basic skill anymore, so you're not a glass cannon anymore. Okay, this is also, you want, like, I would say, high armor. Like, my weapon damage, 730, my toughness is 4,737, and I'm pretty consistent with my physical being the lowest, because, I mean, like, I'm more of a summoner, and physical will probably always be the lowest for you. Okay, then, like, none of this is very special. This is, you gotta say, always helpful. Legendary. If you can get a legendary on your hands, that's good. I would use it, but otherwise than that, you do not really need it. Okay, if you have mercenaries, you can do it. Obviously, I don't have it. I don't need it. It's just like, you have such a powerful build that you can do it, but personally, I would. It's very helpful, but you're gonna be destroying enemies so fast that basically the most important, like the most helpful thing you would want is a healer. So always keep that in mind. And like, okay, let's just say we're gonna talk more about the equipment, because equipment is very helpful. You can see that I have a socket right here that I don't use, because while you're so low level like I am, you'll be changing out equipment like every boss fight. So this is probably not very important, but the most important thing you have is probably your weapons and toughness. So you will always want to keep those high. I cannot say how much I want you to keep that high, because if it's not high, you could really die like really fast. And it's just really important how much you do. If you can't get your hands on some equipment that allow you to upgrade your potions or get more potions, that is really important. And also you could do with item contribution, that's really helpful. See, I have one right here. Every Hellfire skill I have has an item contribution, so that's very helpful, because this is an apocalypse build and we focus a ton on Hellfire. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want more. Bye.